Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs. The Orlando Magic defeat the Miami Heat. Ooh, that's so sweet. 126-114. The Magic win, fueled by a spectacular game from Jalen Suggs. David Steele said this might be Jalen Suggs' best career game. Pich, what think you?
I think tomorrow you're going to be going to school with the message of kids say no to drugs, yes to Suggs.
Yes.
But a great game from Suggs, and I think part of the reason that it jumps out as being great, and I think why David Steele said that, why you said his name 8 times already, is because it was a little bit more than usual from him. He's been kind of stepping it up lately, and as we've been talking about, I think on our last podcast, he's at the end of 82 games played when you consider he didn't play a lot last year, and now he's playing this year. You can see he's looking comfortable. He's feeling comfortable. The shot is getting there.
It looks good. 4 of 6 from beyond the arc tonight, Pich.
That's the kind of stuff that we haven't had from him or haven't had off the bench. And there's been a lot of other games that we've won or been in this year where we can point to certain things here, there, or that. This guy was a menace on the court tonight, and he was messing up everything for the Heat. And it was great to see because somebody needed to do it. And he decided to take the branch and run for it. And I'm going to go ahead and expand more on this right now.
Do it.
Because you love your Suggs and you want to lead with the Suggs.
I do.
People have been talking about our guards and whether they're good enough. And I think we're all, even myself, probably a little guilty of being like,
fair question.
That's a place that we need, right? Like that's a piece we're probably going to try to get as a good 2 that can shoot the rock. These 3 guards tonight, Fultz, Cole, Suggs, by the way, they combined for 7 blocks.
He'd love to see it.
We won that game because of those 3 guards right there. As good as Paolo and Wendell was, those guys playing because Franz was out with an ankle in overtime, those 3 guys, they set the pace. And if that's the kind of game that they can bring on a regular basis, you can see why everyone in the community wants those guys to be part of the base that we build around because they can deliver like this. It needs to be more consistent. I think that's why we're hype.
Yes.
Because everybody did it together tonight. Yeah. It wasn't just one of them or it wasn't just 2. It was all 3.
The energy is much better for this reaction video.
It's going to get way more views anyway because we won.
Yes. And that's okay. And I'll just wax poetic a little bit more on Jalen Suggs here. What did I write down? Pich, I've got 2 pages of notes.
I know. I was worried when I saw how many notes you had, and I knew we were heading to overtime. I was like, oh, boy.
Yep. It's going to get real. I mean, I'm just looking all the times that I mentioned Suggs. There's like 4 or 5 times here. Deflection by Suggs leading to cold dunk. I mean, you can see, I just loved it.
You write something down.
I write it. I love it. I mean, you can see how Jalen Suggs has already shown himself to be an elite defender in the league. 4 steals tonight. How many blocks, Pich? He had a few blocks. 3 blocks. I mean, it's exciting to have him as an anchor of this defense. And the question has been, fairly so, can he score? Can he provide that scoring punch? In his last 10, he's averaging, not including tonight though, 11 points on 34% from beyond the arc and 43% from the field. So we're starting to see those numbers tick up a little bit, and the shooting touch looks nice, as you said. He really just took over in the extra period there too. I mean, he had a tag team block with Markelle Fultz where he got a piece of it, and then Markelle came to clean up the mess. It just, it's a beautiful thing to see. It's poetry in motion, Pich.
All right. Well, Paolo was only an assist shy of a triple-double, but you wouldn't know it by the first 5 minutes of this show. But he also played really well, and Wendell was huge in some big moments tonight. 27 points from him, 11 boards. That is definitely above the basic 20 and 10 that we expect from him. But
Welcome back, Wendell.
He looked fresh coming back after taking some games off. And just was a joy to watch play tonight.
Yeah.
I watched this game actually separate from you tonight. I got to watch the first half again. Then once again, thanks to the NBA TV package, it jumped right to the end of the game. Minute and a half to like I'm watching halftime and I'm thinking, all right, I'll do something else for a second. And then all of a sudden, the same thing that happened to me last game. I hear a commotion and I look down. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go in the fourth quarter.
Oh,
and I'm like,
God,
what the hell? But then they inbound the ball, and I kind of start watching the play. And, the last minute and a half took quite a while because of the reviews, which, we'll get to in a minute. Mm-hmm. And then going to overtime. So I still felt like I watched the whole game. Then you came home. We watched it. I came down and watched the piece I missed, and I feel whole. But I had to do a lot to get there.
Oh, man. It was so good to see Wendell back, man. You're right. It's crazy how glaring it is right now, how he's, the linchpin on our offense. Often when those dribble handoffs at the top of the key, setting good big body screens, helping other guys to get downhill. The chemistry between Franz and Paolo, you got 3 6'10" athletic guys that can, throw alley-oops to each other. That's great to see. And then he's the anchor on defense. Always calling things out, just holding down the paint. He's not a guy that's going to contest a lot at the rim. He's not really vertical, but he's just so smart with his spacing and the way that he uses his body. And Bam Adebayo isn't a huge guy. He matched Bam Adebayo very well tonight. So great game from Wendell. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, the only guy on the Heat that was really super effective all night long was Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
No shock there. 38 points from him. And what is really interesting, they had a back-to-back. They played against Cleveland last night, so I think that was starting to show a little bit late in the game.
Yep.
But as I said to you downstairs, and I promised I would say it on the show, so I'm going to say it, because every time that we play the Miami Heat, I always fear Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. And tonight, they were Max Strus and Gabe Vincent that play against other teams. They were just average guys, 8 points from Strus. I got 13 from Vincent. He did score 4 points for him in the overtime, but those are tame numbers from those guys. Those guys usually go for 20 against us and are lighting it up from 3. And nobody else really stepped up to help Jimmy Butler tonight when he really needed it. And you know what? He played his ass off. Credit to him. He hits that 3 to tie the game, which was a ridiculous shot.
Yep.
The defense was sound on that. The play was made, but Jimmy Butler gets things done, man. He's a mix of talent, luck, skill. I wish he had a better team around him. He could win things.
He's a really good player. Yeah, I don't think the Heat have it this year. They didn't make the requisite moves to make really a playoff push at all. They're just kind of
it's like, let's get a washed up Kevin Love. That'll get us there.
Yeah, whatever. Picking someone off of waivers isn't really going to move the dial for your team, as it shouldn't. Max Strus and Gabe Vincent were just playing as regular guys. Well, so was Kyle Lowry, being his regular asshole self. What's going on here? You're telling me it's not a delay of game? The man has taken off all of his geriatric. He's got knee bands. He's got the heat pad.
He was a friggin' mummy. He had to unwrap himself and go play.
I went to the head and I came back and he was still unraveling himself. It's ridiculous.
I don't want to punch him in the face. I want to punch through his face.
You got to follow through.
You got to make an indentation there. He's such a douchebag.
Complains about
with his
everything.
Flopping and complaining about everything.
Gosh.
And it's like, bro, what?
Yeah, everything. And then he was mad when he wasn't getting, calls in the fourth, and that's karma. That's karma, Kyle. He's just coming back for you, sir.
He's just an annoying guy. I recognize that he has some skill, but it is not worth it. The NBA should just kick him out for being an annoying douche. and there's other guys that you could probably put on this line, but we don't see them as much because they're in the Western Conference. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We've seen Jalen Suggs, getting back to his career game, we've seen some other really good Jalen Suggs. We were in the building for Jalen Suggs' dunk on DeMar DeRozan. Yep. That was a pretty seminal game. And then he hit a buzzer beater to win against Chicago. He owned Chicago. Pich, I'll be fine if moving forward, Jalen Suggs also would like to own the Miami Heat.
Yes, I'd be fine with that. Someone needs to.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen them beat the Miami Heat in a while.
It's been far too long.
Pre-bubble, I think, for me.
Yeah.
So
Paolo, I think you mentioned this earlier. Just shy of that triple-double. 10 rebounds, 17 assists, or 17 points, 9 assists.
It's the 5 for 14 that's still nagging me. And even down the stretch, at one point there in overtime, he just decides to shoot a 3, and it's an air ball. When he misses, man, sometimes he misses real bad. Like he even missed one near the bucket where he just threw it right over the whole thing. And it's like, all right. I mean, he's got to tighten some of that stuff up. I know he's playing hard and playing a long time. And look, at this time last year, he was just getting ready to go dancing in March Madness. Mm-hmm. Much like my Catamounts, the men and the women are ready to bust brackets. Get ready. Go Vermont. It was a big day in hoop.
It was.
The Magic win this. The Catamounts are going dancing.
Yeah.
I bet on both of them. So I want some money.
Peach is having a good day. It's also been a great day because we got this little puppy in, Peach. This is a new like drop pad that we're going to be using for camera angles. As you might have been seeing tonight, we're starting to even play with those toys. We've got more sound drops coming in. Some of the Patreons have recommended some sound drops. And this is the type of stuff, if you're having a good time, like this is the stuff we buy with the money that we get from Patreon. So if you're coming by, appreciating the reactions, having a good time, getting a laugh, it would mean a lot to us if you at least click that subscribe. Maybe you're going to head over to the Patreon. We're like $12 short of a $200 a month goal.
I'm stoked about this because we had something like this when I did my sports TV show a long time ago, and it was a lot of fun with the sounds.
Hell yeah.
And being able to switch cameras while we're in here is going to be a fantastic addition. But I'm also a huge radio fan, like old school radio shows and old school, like even there used to be radio shows back in the day. Now it's just all podcasts. But the introduction of the soundboard is fun. I know there's podcasts I listen to that like something happens and I'll be like, oh, hit that noise. And then they hit it and I'm like, I feel satisfied, right? So like now you'll know, like we'll be ready too. Like if we're talking about bowl, the siren will go off.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you'll
like,
know. It's coming.
If somebody's giving some shade and sunshine and shade, you're going to hear the clouds.
Yeah.
It's going to rumble in because it's going to be a button push away now. So it's going to be fun.
I really can't wait. And thank you for making that possible, everyone out there.
We got our plus minus players of the game. Are you ready?
Yes.
Unsullied by sponsorship since 2023 because that's when I started doing this.
But I'm a whore for your money. Give it to me. Travis, I'm sorry about the whore of the kids in the car. I'm sorry about that.
They're going to have to learn about him at some point. I'm sure he drives by an adult place at some point and has to explain to the kids what that is. What is an adult shop, Daddy? Speaking of adults, Fultz led us with plus 20 tonight. That's a pretty adult thing to do. He was making sure things went well. Franz actually on the low end tonight, -5. But there weren't a lot of minuses for us tonight.
Yeah.
So -5 is not too bad. He wasn't really in there at the end when we were making our big push. I mean, we dominated overtime.
Yeah. Do we have an update on Franz's ankle? That's the only thing I was just looking at right now.
Mosley was asked about it after the game, but said they was too soon. They didn't know anything. So
okay.
If you got a chance
Kobe
to watch
right here, we got Kobe Price X-rays on Franz's right ankle are negative. The Magic say he's being diagnosed with a sprained right ankle. Good news. Good news. Thank you.
So he'll be out 2 weeks.
Thank you. Well, at this point, I know you said I haven't watched the post-game interviews or anything yet.
I was just about to talk about that.
You talked about they were asked about, or Wendell was asked about the game to game and
yeah, Wendell came in late making some noise, which Suggs laughed at and called him unprofessional. And then Wendell basically said, our goal is to make that play in.
Still make the play in.
So I'm over this game, and I'm just on to the next one because this is what we need to do if we're going to get there, and that's our goal. And no one asked them, what's your goal?
Yeah.
He just said that. So that means that the team has they have
a vision for it.
They have a dry erase board in there with this little meter drawn, and they're coloring things in after every win, or they're
can't they be taking off clothing from Betsy DeVos or something?
Yeah. So, I don't know about that one.
That's good.
But whatever it is that they're doing it, that's the mindset they have, and that's what they want. So, I don't think we're going to be unnecessarily resting guys because the mindset of this team, if you want it to be super positive going into next year, win or lose, you've got to let them try this.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Hey, I'm going to let the gentlemen try that, and I'm going to be cheering them all along the way. But I have to be honest with you, Peach. My sights and my expectations are turning a little bit more towards the offseason and the draft. I know it's just hypothetical, but we got March Madness coming up. Episode 41, you promised me you'd do some hypotheticals, that we're going to do some type of mock draft, something. You promised. He promised, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to let him out of it.
There's so many things that can change with people. It's just not worth your time. Don't do it. Don't go on those websites and be like, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? Get a life. Worry about things that are actually happening.
Yeah, but send us some things you want us to look at for episode 41. It'll be coming soon. Pich, any closing thoughts for the good people?
This is a good win. I know I said it in the last wrap up. You weren't here, so I'll tell you. This was a bad stretch of home games for us.
Yeah.
And we needed this win tonight.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to get this whole uptick going.
That's
and it was a big win for us in Florida.
Yes.
Like to say, hey, shut up, Miami fans.
Right.
We got a team too, and we're doing some stuff. So of the 4 games in this stretch that we won, I'm glad it was this one.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
If we were going to win one, it was this one. So I'm glad we got it.
Let's go, Magic. Fuck you, Kyle Lowry. It's been real, everybody. We love you.
Bomb in there.
Peace. Sorry, Travis.
I'm just always going to say sorry, Travis.
Yeah, I like it.
I swear.
He's in the car right now.